All right. So, good afternoon and welcome to our Intro to Workforce Development and Lifelong Learning webinar hosted by UDC. We are excited to have you here with us this afternoon. We do have a couple of housekeeping tips. Please be mindful to mute yourselves. Please be mindful to mute yourselves so that we can hear you. And also that we'll have a raffle coming up and you'll need to email us your answers. So when the raffle comes up, you must email that to us in order to be considered for the raffle. We're excited to have two individuals from the Division of Workforce Development to talk to us about some of the programs they're offering and how you can participate in what they have at UDC. Um, Now, Dr. Durant and Mr. Martin will start by giving us some information about themselves. And then we also make sure we thank our sponsors for supporting this program. I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Durant and Mr. Martin.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Durant, Michael Durant. I'm the Director of Student Success and Retention in the Office of the Division of the Workforce Development and Lifelong Learning and the Community College and University District of Columbia. I just want to welcome you to this session. Look forward to enlightening you, giving you an update on what we're doing, some of the activities you can participate in, and a good direction for you as you move to negotiate your experience through your future. I've been in the field for roughly over 15 years, so I have a lot of experience with working with students, especially in the capacity of helping them to be able to be successful as they understand their experiences in higher education. So I look forward to sharing this information with you this afternoon.
Hi, my name is Julius Martin. I am the Assistant Director of Student Success and Retention. I'm excited to be with you, to go over the presentation and let you learn a little bit more about workforce and the pathways that we do have. I approximately have been in the industry about 10 years, not as much as Dr. Durant, but I'm excited to speak with you and share my knowledge as well.
I never dreamed this career was possible. I absolutely love what I do. My name is Steven, and I'm a proud graduate of the University of the District of Columbia. I received my Master's of Public Administration in 18 months, and during that process, I had 2 promotions and graduated debt-free. The professors had real-life experiences. UDC helped me change my dreams from impossible to possible.
Find your possible. Visit udc.edu/possible to learn more.
Greetings, Mary and Barry Summer Youth Employment Program participants. Welcome to UDC Campus Store. We're so glad you're here. My name is Jennifer Horvatinovich, UDC Store Manager. As your campus store, we partner with you from orientation to graduation to make sure you have the best college experience. Our mission is to serve you, and that starts with course materials. This fall, UDC is happy to launch our All Access program. All course materials will be available to you on your first day of class and delivered to you digitally through your Blackboard account. Our partnership doesn't end at textbooks. We have the best selection of UDC gear that you may purchase online anytime at udcshop.com. We also have the rest of your essentials needed for making it through college, from laptops to AirPods, notebooks, and binders. Check us out at udcshop.com. Sign up at the bottom of the homepage to receive emails and promotions. And remember, we're always open online at udcshop.com. We look forward to seeing you soon. Find your pathway to possible here at UDC.
All right. So we have our first raffle of the day. We have two things. A swag bag from the Office of the President. Thank you, President Mason. And also something from the UDC bookstore. So once the screen appears, this is the website. Who was the original founder of UDC? You want to email address on the screen? virtualcollege@udc.edu. Got a baseball cap and a UDC t-shirt. The original founder of UDC.
Good question.
It is a good question.
Good question. Good question. So take the time to actually submit your answers to the question. We look forward to hearing how many people actually know the answer to that question. It's really going to, put us in a good place to see how many people understand and know the District of Columbia University, under University of the District of Columbia. That's going to be a great question for us to know the answer to as we go through those.
Yes.
Okay, So one of the things that we wanted to do, we want to kick this off. I want to again say welcome to the University of the District of Columbia online virtual career and training session with the Workforce Development Lifelong Learning Division. It is extremely exciting for us to be here with you this afternoon because we understand the value that this division is going to bring to you as you negotiate your experience, as you try to figure out your next steps, as you try to decide where you want to be as you begin to develop your career or enhance your career if you're already in one. So as we go through this session, one of the things that we want to make sure that we're going to hit on is that we try to make sure that we line this out with objectives. So one of the things that we want to make sure is that you understand a lot about UDC. You understand UDC Community College, and you also have a great understanding of the Workforce Development and Lifelong Learning Division. This course will basically take you through some of the things of the pathways that we offer. It will take you through how we help you be successful, and we also walk you through what it's going to take for you to complete the transition from coming from a non-student to a workforce development student. And after this session, hopefully those questions will be answered, and it'll give you an opportunity to know that this is the place for you and that this is where you want to spend some time in gaining your certifications and being a student of the University of District of Columbia. Next slide, please. So one of the things that's exciting to us is that we are a relatively new division. I mean, we've been around for about 11 years. We it was founded in 2009. Even though the university was here well before the Division of Workforce Development, the creation of workforce development has really served as a pillar for the District of Columbia. We have truly been, I guess, embarking upon some magnificent things as we try our best to make sure that the district residents have all the skills and knowledge they need in order for them to be successful. So the mission of workforce development is slightly to reduce unemployment and underemployment in the District of Columbia by enhancing the skills of its residents. So you may ask yourself, what does that mean? How does workforce development prepare me and allow me to be a district resident by enhancing my skills? So one of the things that we do at Workforce Development is that we try to make sure that our students and that the district residents are on the same playing field as everyone else within the District of Columbia. And how do we do that? We provide them with the certifications, we give them the skills that they need, we provide the job training, we work with them through life experiences that they can overcome in order for them to be successful. So one of our major goals is not only to make sure that we allow you to be successful within the corridors of UDC, but make sure that when you leave the District of the Columbia University, you also have those skills when you walk into those jobs and you let them know that, hey, this is where I received my training and this is where I'm going to be able to be successful. And when I say negotiate those skills, I basically am explaining to you that we want you to be able to be on the same playing field with all the transplants that's coming to DC. One of the things that we know is that DC is a melting pot, that DC has many, many cultures, many ethnicities, many backgrounds, many family structures. And one of the things that's important for the Workforce Development Division is to make sure that no matter how often the structure of UDC change, the residents of UDC is competitive and ready to embark upon the same journeys as everyone else. And this is your first layer of being able to gain those skills in order to be successful. So what is a UDC course? So our courses are typically no cost to you. We are a free fee-based program, which means that all the courses that you receive through the University of Maryland, University of District of Columbia, Workforce Development and Lifelong Learning programs are free. We are non-credited, which means that we provide certifications. So the credits that you earn does not transition into the 4-year or the 2-year, but it does provide you with certifications in order to go into those programs a little bit ahead of the students that's coming in without the certifications. Preparation for regional and national certifications, and that's one of the things that we do. We not only provide you for the local certifications, but we put you on track to be able to go outside of DC and also work. Next slide. So right now we have 2 locations. We have our Bertie Backus campus, which is 5171 South Dakota Avenue in Northeast DC, Ward 5. And we also have our Congress Heights location, which is 3100 Martin Luther King in the Southeast area, Ward 8. So those are our 2 locations that basically serves all the students and all the residents of the District of Columbia. And we look forward to having you come to those campuses, understand a little bit more once they open back up, and be able to really understand that we are here in your location to provide you with the services that you need in order for you to be successful. Next slide. So not only do we provide the certifications, but we have the pathways in order for you to understand your experience. So some of the pathways that we do offer the certifications in is construction. We offer it in early childhood education. We offer it in hospitality and tourism. We offer it in information technology. We offer it in healthcare administration and healthcare direct. And we offer in infrastructure, general, and fundamentals. One of the unique things about the UDC experience with workforce development and lifelong learning is that our experience not only focuses on those particular pathways, but we also partner with many different agencies within the district. So if you're part of another organization and you know that UDC Workforce Development Program is partnered with them, then you're also able to sit for the certifications. You're also able to sit for these courses. We partner with the Department of Corrections. We partner with the HJCs, the American Job Centers. We do the Department of Employment Services. So we have a lot of partnerships around the district that allows for you not only to have to come to us to receive those particular skills and services that we provide, but also different agencies around the district can also provide some of the workforce readiness programs as well. Next slide.
Great, thank you so much, Dr. Durant. So we're gonna start first with construction. One of our pathway. So the pathway pretty much provides key knowledge and skills for entry-level construction and maintenance professionals. This program provides the how and the why of construction trades. So living in DC, as you drive around, you see that there are many different construction sites being built. And you probably ask yourself, like, how is that process? Like, how does it happen? Where do they actually research to find the areas that they want to actually build a building? There are 2 different types of construction buildings. There's commercial and there's residential. Commercial is where you go to your malls, your stores, you go shopping, your 7-Elevens, but then you have residential. Residential is your homes, your apartments that you might reside in. So there's a 7-step basic process to creating a building. The first process is called planning. First, we got to find out which area do we want to build our building? How do we want to construct our building? You start really thinking about, okay, well, what's the cost of the material that we need to build the building? what's the labor? You know, how many people do I have to hire to actually get this to happen? And then you start thinking about, okay, I need a really good team. Like Dr. Duran and I, we're a phenomenal team. So you also got to start thinking about, okay, I need to find a really good team. So once that is all said and done, you started step one, the planning phase. Step two, you have to actually go and get permits. What's a permit? Every different city have different permits that you must get in order to build within that city. That's going to give you the guidelines, the laws and regulations to your building. So once you actually go and get your permits to build, that allow you to build, you found your area, so you got your planning done, you have your permits. Now you want to actually start preparing for your construction site. Now this is the exciting part, because guess what happens? You actually start constructing the foundation of your building. So you find your area, you level out the soil, you fill whatever potholes are there, and then you begin to prepare your storage facilities. Now your storage facilities are going to be your power lines, your sewage, your electrical source where the electricity will actually run through the building. Then once you finish basic step 3, you're going to go to basic step 4. You're going to actually start the foundation. You're going to test the soil to make sure that the soil can actually hold the building that you want to build. Then from there, you're going to start doing the framework and the layout at this particular stage. Then level 5, we call it the super construction. Now what that is, that's actually putting together your roof, your siding, getting that material organized and laid out. It really begins to make your building look pretty. You're actually putting that foundation on to look really good. Then once that's all said and done and the building is up and is looking great, you have to go to step 6, which is called the punch list. What's the punch list? The punch list is when you actually go into the facility, whether it's residential or commercial, and you look for any problems or errors that may have happened during the construction. So you're probably like, wow, you know what? This wall is a little lopsided, or you know what? We don't have a good power source to this particular room, or the HVAC system is not really cooling the room down. So you make all of those comments and then you go back in and you fix those particular things. So the final step in constructing a building is getting your building's warranty period. That gives the actual owner 90 days to go in and see if there's anything that messes up. So if you have a house, let's say your heating system goes out the first 30 days, you can actually have those people who built your building to come back and fix that unit for you. So that's kind of like the 7-step process. So within our pathways, you will experience many of those different steps. So for our construction craft skills, you're going to learn the basics. What's a hammer? What's a screw? How to nail in? What's a window in? What's a divided window? What's a 2-layer window? You're going to begin to learn those basic things when it comes to construction. Now, when you're in a building and everything is said and done, every building going to need, some people may call a superintendent, some people may call a staff member that makes sure the building is up to par, but that person is going to maintain any issues or problems within that particular building. We also have what we call HVAC. As the summer goes on, everyone knows you want to stay cool, right? I know I do. Now, my ear is not working that great, so I'm a little hot over here. But many of you whose ear is working great, that is the HVAC system. So it's really hands-on. It's really learning how to install a system within a residential or commercial location. So you really got to be knowledgeable and hands-on when it comes to that. But then if you're that type of person that likes to draw, that like architectural work, we have our building information modeling. We call it BIM, B-I-M. That person is going to be really good on a computer and being able to really understand lines and being able to really understand room settings and construct that. But if you're that type of person like I love electrical. I love installing new sockets. I love it and making sure that my lighting is right. So if you really want to start focusing on lighting, we have electrical where you can actually get that hands-on experience and learn how to route wires within the building. Okay, our next slide. Like Dr. Durant said, we want to make sure with this pathway, you're going to be successful. And we're going to set you up to earn a certification. So there are many different certifications within the construction pathway. We have what we call our certification for apartment maintenance tech. We have our NCCER, which is our National Center for Construction and Research. We also have our OSHA. OSHA is one of our favorite certifications that many students want to earn because it really places them in a level of entry level so they can actually start working in that particular industry. Now, some of those career fields are, you could be a sheet worker, you could be an HVAC and electrical worker, you could be a construction and inspector as well. So that is pretty much with our construction pathway. So we're going to move on to our next pathway, okay? Early childhood education, yay! If you love kids and you love to work with kids, this is definitely a pathway for you. It's hands-on. You learn everything from the foundation to moving into the actual intensive program. Now, what's happening in Washington, D.C., every student who wants to work in daycare has to have an associate's degree. So if you're really thinking about wanting to earn your associates, you can really start with this program and get your foundation with CDA 1 and CDA 2 and really begin to understand how to put together a portfolio, how to work with kids. What are some problems that you might deal with when you're dealing with the kids? You also have to work in a daycare. So we want you to get that experience as well. So we want you to actually get the feel of how it is and how it feels to actually be among kids. So if you're that type of person that's hands-on and you like children, this is definitely a pathway for you. Next slide. And as we know that with CDA, you're going to need some, you're going to need many different things. First of all, you're going to need a number of hours working within the industry. You're going to also need your portfolio. So this is like the beginning process of earning your CDA. So then from there, we would like you to go to our associate's degree program and complete your associate's CDA as well. And some of those jobs that you can earn would be centers that you can work in would be early learning centers, family childhood centers, and private child daycare centers as well. Next slide.
Wonderful, 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 Mr. Martin. Thank you so much for giving us that information. I think that was very helpful, especially the way you broke down the construction pathway as well as the CDA. Those two of my favorite pathways. I think they provide a lot of opportunity for our students. One of the things that we do as well with those pathways is that we have the hospitality and tourism pathway. And so with that pathway, we know that the hospitality and tourism industry was hit very hard during the COVID-19 pandemic. And so one of the things that we have done, we have amped up our hospitality and tourism program to make sure that we not only provide you with the foundational experiences of hospitality and tourism, but we took it to the next level. So again, we are not only thinking about how do we provide the skills to you on the ground inside of the classrooms, but how do we make sure that those skills transcend beyond what it is that you're going to see inside the classroom and into the working world. Especially in the District of Columbia, the hospitality industry and tourism, took a very, very, very hard hit. And so one of the things that we do provide in this pathway is the training. Not only do we believe that the training is allowing you to be successful in the hospitality and tourism, but we believe that those trainings are opportunities for you to go cross disciplines. So one of the things that we have here is the Hotel and Lodging Operations Pathway Roadmap. So with this particular pathway, we provide a roadmap so that we not only provide you with one certification, but you have the opportunity to receive what we call stackable credentials. And stackable credentials give you the opportunity to not only receive one certification, but up to 3 to 4 certifications at one time, allowing you to be extremely competitive when you do go out there and you look for that job. And so one of the things that our roadmap with the hotel and lodging operations do for you is that we provide the foundations of hospitality and tourism. So we give you that background. We let you know what is going to be expected of you if this is the industry you want to go in. And now that because COVID-19 has hit, we have begun to develop even stronger understandings of, so what happens if a pandemic hit? How do you begin to understand your career path from a different lens? And so we're not only looking at how do you look at it from the lens of a traditional transition from job to employment, but looking at it from job to pandemic. How do we help you move and negotiate your understandings of, okay, I lost my job during the pandemic. How does these skills really, really, really help me as I move forward? That is one of the most important things right now that we're experiencing with everyone that's calling us. They're letting us know that, hey, I came for your certifications. I did everything that I'm supposed to do. Now I'm in a position to where as though my job told me they're going to lay me off. What do I do next? So what we have begun to do is design those stackable credentials so that you won't only have one credential that's going to prepare you to be successful, but you'll be able to, when you go on that interview, you'll be able to talk from many different facets of what it is that you've learned inside the classrooms. So the guest service professional and the front desk representative is also a part of that roadmap. We have the food and beverage service pathway, which is really, really big in the District of Columbia. So we have the restaurant server certification, we have the serve food handling certification, we have the alcohol beverage certification, and we have the management safe serve certification. So again, when you look at all those certifications, you may say, why do I need all four? But one of the things that it's really telling you is that you may not need all four, but all four definitely makes you more competitive. So it allows me to say, I'm looking for a manager who also has a background in understanding, you know, how to be a server in a restaurant, because I'm going to need that manager to train the restaurant, but I'm also going to need that manager to understand how to work at the bar, to understand, you know, liquor licensing and understand those particular things. So we're not only preparing you and training you for one understanding of the industry, but we want you to be able to understand the industry in a full capacity. And so then we move over to what I think is one of our greatest opportunities is with our leasing and property management pathway, which is customer service and sales and leasing for property management. So you all live in apartments, or you all live in houses where there are condo fees. And so one of the things that is important is that you don't understand that there's someone working there. And while you're living there, you may have an opportunity to go in and work for your apartment complex, your condo complex, your HOA complex. So this is an opportunity for you to know that working in your environment can also pay off. So being a part of your community and understanding the services that happens is so important for you to be successful, and it provides you an opportunity that you may not really truly understand. And so the leasing for property management pathway has been so beneficial to our students. It has given a lot of students who didn't understand what they wanted to do, who didn't really understand what leasing really meant, and didn't understand that this is actually a career pathway. This is not a pathway that is going to lead to nowhere, because there's always someone who's looking for an apartment, and there's always some apartment complex that is looking to hire someone with some great skills, and again, customer service and sales skills to get those apartment buildings filled. And again, looking at the District of Columbia, we all know that buildings are going up, which means that there's going to be job opportunities available. Next slide. Okay, so one of the things that we talked about was that we provide the certifications. So our certifications are extremely competitive because we provide national certifications. We don't provide local certifications. We provide national and district level certifications to our students, which means that if you live in the District of Columbia, if you live in Maryland, if you transition to Maryland, because you got to live in DC to come to our program, but if you transition to Maryland, or if you go to Virginia, these skills are transferable, and you'll be able to use these certifications no matter where you go. And so we have the National Retail Association certification. We have the National Restaurant certification, which is our Safe Serve certification, which is really popular amongst all of our students who wants to go into the hospitality industry. And some of the potential career fields that we've noticed from talking to our students is that they come front desk associates, but as well as front desk managers. So they not only come into the program at one level, but they have begun to see themselves progress and move up the ladder of management. Lead restaurant service. So again, you know, when you walk into, let's say, Cheesecake Factory, and you see that they have a server working there, but then you see someone else that's walking around that's monitoring the service. That's someone who's already understood, you know, the skills, and so they're leading the restaurant now. They may not be the manager yet. Yet is the key word, but they will become the managers. So, but they're working their way up to that, but they have the certifications to allow themselves to work their way up. An office administrator, like I said, within that leasing and property management, and room attendants within the hospitality and hotel tourism industry. Next slide. So now this is a really big one. We have been seeing information, we have been seeing excitement, and we have been getting a lot of interest in our information technology program. So our information technology program is one of those programs that we look at as a building block to success. So one of the things that this program do for you is that you can come to our program with a bachelor's degree in computer science, you can come with an associate's degree in information systems, and we still can provide you with that next layer of what it's going to take for you to become the next successful IT person in the field. So these particular certifications are what I consider to be the foundation for moving through the industry of information technology, because not only do we see students come into the information technology pathway from a standpoint of, I have no experience, I don't know nothing, I don't know what I'm going to do. Do we have people coming to us that say, I've been in the industry for 10 years. I have experienced so much. I've been involved. I've experienced. I've been out there, but I need this next layer. I need this next thing. And that's what this is potentially going to provide for our students, because we know that the students always going to need, again, those stackable credentials in order for them to move forward. So some of the pathways that we offer, or some of the courses that we offer that leads to certifications, is our Microsoft Office suites. So not only do we provide Excel and PowerPoint, we also provide an opportunity for students to gain all three or all two of the certifications in Microsoft, Excel, or PowerPoint as they go through the program. We have Introduction to Computers. We have Computer Technicians A+. This is like that beginning level certification where if you're not really sure about IT, but you know that this is a field you want to go into because everyone in your neighborhood has been telling you, this is where you need to be, this is where you need to go, this is where the money is coming, but you don't really have a lot of experience. This is that pathway that's going to help you and promote you and get you in that next stage of, this is what I want. And once you hit that pathway, which is we consider the foundation, then you can move into the network. The network is what we're on right now. Understanding the network. How does it work? If something goes down, how do we reboot it? We also have Security Plus. Security Plus program provides students with National Security Agency, going and work for the NASA, going and work for the government, and understanding how, people that hack into computers, what are they doing? How do we prevent this from happening to our industry? We also have project management, which is very, very popular. The project management certification allows for individuals who's already in the field or individuals who want to go into the field to gain experience on how to manage projects. So for instance, if your boss comes to you and say, hey, you're working in the hospitality field right now, but you know what, we're going to have an event coming up next week. So now you know that, I can go back to workforce development. I can get another certification in project management. And now, not only do I work in the hotel, not only do I work in the leasing office, but now I can manage projects that they give me in order for me to go to that next stage. And then we also offer AWS cloud computing. So that's our new baby. That's just came online. We have had 2 semesters so far, very successful, a lot of energy, that's very competitive. And we just started another one, which is going to come online very, very soon, which is our iOS. That's not on here, but that's our next one. And we're looking forward to actually seeing how that one play out, because one of the things that we're doing is we're looking at the industry. Workforce development looks at the industry and see what's out there. And we really try to make sure that we provide you all with what is going to be the next thing in order for you to be successful. The next slide, please. So like I was talking, I think I went into really depth about our certifications and the different things that we offer. So one of the things I want to talk to you all about now is the potential career fields. So one for the A+ certification, we have what most people say is the in-home support specialist. That is that person who works as someone who can support you from, I can say, technology difference. So you may be at home or you may be in an office and you're supporting people in another location. When you call Comcast because they shut your cable down and you're upset. I'm pretty sure you're not having it, especially if there's a good show going on. We already know. So one of the things that we know with that is that what we do is we call the IT office. And we have that person get online, they tell us we want to troubleshoot. That is what an in-home support specialist does. Then we also have a desktop support specialist. That's the person that's working at your IT department at your university. The person that you can bring your laptop into, they can look at it. You probably see it a lot at Best Buy. When you go into Best Buy and they say, bring your computers in, and that person help you with your computer, they are what we consider the desktop support technicians. And we also have the help desk technicians. The help desk technicians are the ones, again, that you call into, but you may be able to bring your phone and bring your computer, again, also with the phones. Apple does a great program where they help help desk people with their phone services because their phones link to so many different technology things now. An information technology specialist and a project manager. So as I went through the hospitality and the information technology programs, one of the things I want you to understand is that with workforce development, we are in a position to provide you with opportunities to know that the credentials or the certifications that you provide is going to give you an opportunity to go a little bit further than what it is than when you came into our doors. And so those two pathways do provide that opportunity for you. And it really is going to set you up for a really, really great foundation. Next slide.
Thank you, Dr. Durant. Actually, I had to call the cable company the other day because I was actually trying to get HBO and realized that I didn't pay for HBO, so there's no way I could have HBO. So I was dealing with a tech about an hour yesterday. So now we're gonna move on to our healthcare administration. Now, the question I have for you, are you the type of person that loves working around people, love helping people? Are you the type of person that your friend call and they're sick and you're running to their aid, you're bringing them medication? Or are you the type of person that just like to be on the computer, like to be organized, like to be typing up documents? So our healthcare pathway is absolutely phenomenal. We have two different areas in the pathway. We have administration and we have direct. So let's talk a little bit about administration. Now, this pathway provides the skill and knowledge needed for healthcare professionals, because that's what you will become in a rapid changing career field. Now, with everything going on, like Dr. Durant said, with the COVID-19 happening, this is becoming an extremely, extremely needed pathway. People are wanting to get hired within this pathway. So we have this particular pathway for our students to actually work. So we're going to talk a little bit about our roadmaps, our medical office administration. What is that? What does that consist of? That is the person who really want to begin to learn the terms and terminology in the medical field. Then we also have our electronic health records. If you're the type of person that like to be on the computer, you're the type of person that like to put in files and data entry, this can be a particular pathway for you. So that's particular one roadmap that you can actually go into. Then we have a second roadmap called medical coding and billing roadmap. Now, this consists of our medical office administration professional, learning those terms and terminology, being very knowledgeable in that area. Then it takes you into the intro for billing and coding. So now you begin to learn those codes that you put in when people have their medical records sent to you. So you're that type of person that like to be by themselves, like to be working at the desk, typing that in information, typing that important information, and would do codes. Then you can go into electronic health records as well as advanced medical billing. So that type of person, you definitely got to be really savvy on the computer. You got to be really savvy and quick typing in and inputting data information. Now, as you look at the pictures next, you see our classroom, you see our students right there presenting a presentation. And also there's times when you get to sit down and just interact with your friend and just talk about what happened that day. Next slide. So now with this, you also are able to earn certification. So our certifications are our certified professional billing. Then we have our certified electronic health record specialist. We also have our certified billing and coding specialist, our certified medical administration assistant. So this is a particular popular actual pathway. We have many students. And what I love about this pathway, we get you in the beginning, we teach you how to dress. We actually have uniforms that you wear to class. So you begin to get that feeling of being within that medical field. You work with your class, you work on projects, you have externships that you have to complete as well. So you really truly get that experience of being in the medical field. We have a great program director that has extreme years and years of knowledge, and he brings that to you in the classroom. You also have your student success specialist that's going to help you transition while you're here in school. So you're going to work with them from day one until completion of graduation, until we see you at what we call our COE, our celebration of excellence. That's when you earn your certification and you move on to your next step. When you think about careers in the medical field, you probably say, what can I do? Well, you could do a variety of different things when it comes to our administration. You can actually be a certified EHR specialist. You can work in medical billing, which is a popular career. You can work as a unit secretary, You can also be a patient account specialist or work in insurance billing clerk. So there's a variety of different things that you can do in the medical field. And with the situation that's going on with COVID-19, AKA Rona, you can actually work in that particular field. Let's go to the next slide. Now we have direct. Now, this particular pathway, you really have to ask yourself, I love helping people, but can I be in a situation where I see blood? Can I be in a situation where I'm in an emergency room and see a traumatic or trauma situation? So those are the questions that you really have to ask yourself. But this particular pathway is for those individuals that want to interact with patients. You will have that interaction going on. If we look at our first picture, that's our associate dean right there, actually getting her blood drawn in one of our simulated classes. So what's great about our healthcare direct pathway, you actually have simulated classes where you're dealing with patients, where you're dealing with actually what we call dummies that you actually work on and really get a real feel of what it feels like to be in the emergency room, what it really feels like to draw blood, what it really feels like to take temperature, to monitor someone's heart. So you learn all of these different things within our pathway. Now, some of the certifications that you will have here, you can actually be an EKG tech, where you actually learn how to put up all the wires when you want to get your heart tested for heartbeats. If anyone's having a regular heartbeat that comes in and want it monitored, you'll actually work in that particular pathway. But then you might want to be the person who wants to become the nurse's assistant, where you're actually working as an assistant nurse in a hospital, or you work in a senior citizen's home, or where you actually, dealing with those particular type of patients. So then we go on to, well, what type of careers can I go? Well, you could be a pharmacy tech, you could be a patient and guest room service representative, you could be a patient scheduling clerk, as well as nursing assistant. Next slide. So when we look at the different pathways, we want to make sure that we have what Dr. Durant said, those stackable credentials. We want to make sure you have many different skill sets that you can use. And with what's currently going on, we want to make sure that you have those skills so you can move in different particular locations within the health field. So we have our phlebotomy and EKG tech roadmap, which you'll actually, phlebotomy, you'll actually be able to take people's blood. So you have to ask yourself, can you look at someone's blood going into an actual tube, and can you do that? But then we also have our EKG tech. And then we start looking at our nurses and dialysis tech. So if you wanted to be a direct support professional or a nurse's assistant or dialysis tech, that's a particular roadmap that you would follow. Then we also have our medical assistant roadmap, where you actually would be the medical office administrative professional. That's a particular course. You would take medical assistant, you would take electronic health records, and phlebotomy tech. So we really are trying to prepare you to have these stackable credentials so you can work in different levels within the medical field. But then if you look over to our medical assistant and patient care roadmap, you can actually go into direct support professional. Now that person is a person that may work at an elderly folk home, where they're actually helping patients to take baths, to walk to the restroom, to change their bedding. So it's really that type of area where you're really working hands on hands between client and patient. Then we have our nurse's assistant, as well as patient care tech and electronic health records you can take in that particular pathway. Next slide. So because it's medical and you're dealing with patients, there's going to be some additional required documents for these particular courses. So for the electronic health records, introduction to billing and coding, medical office administration professional, you will have to take a 7-series drug screening 7 days prior to class. They want to know exactly, it's actually just a requirement that you have to take to make sure that there are no illegal drugs in your system, and it's right 7 days before class. So that's a particular additional requirement that you must take for this particular pathway. Next slide, Sean. And so beyond that certification, the particular classes, our direct support professional, our medical assistant, our patient care tech, our EKG tech, our nurse's assistant, pharmacy tech, phlebotomy tech, there are some more additional more additional required documents that you need. Number one, you need proof of your high school degree, diploma, or we need a transcript or your GED credentials. You also need to have a complete healthcare examination, a physical within 1 year. We need that physical 1 year. You will be removed from class if you do not have that document. We also want you to have your test, your PPD test within 1 year, chest x-ray as well within 5 years. We also need your actual immunization record. So with healthcare, we need your measles, mumps, rubella. Then we also need your hepatitis, as well as chickenpox, as well as flu vaccine. So we need these certifications, we need these documents in order for you to continue within that program. Then you're also going to have to do a criminal background check. So we need to check your background. And you also will have to get your certification in CPR, as well as your 7 series drug screening, additional documentations for this particular area. Next slide.
Okay, so Mr. Martin, thank you so much for explaining that. So one of the things that I want to just kind of like just go talk about a little bit more of that is that within our healthcare field, we require so much because remember, you're on the front lines of a lot of different things. And one of the things that we've realized is that, especially with COVID, is that healthcare workers are extremely vulnerable to many different things that's out there in our society, especially when it comes to germs, when it comes to viruses. And so one of the things that we want to make sure is that because of the exposure that our healthcare workers have, we also wanted to make sure that they're not exposing the patients that they're working with. And so that's one of the reasons why it looks heavy. It looks real deep. It looks like it's one of those things you're like, wow, this one is requiring a whole lot. But it's not a whole lot, because one of the things that we make sure is that in order for you to get those things, those required documents, it's a process. Remember, we have to trust the process. This is not something that we're going to ask you to do in one day. You know, it takes time. So you're not overwhelmed. You're not really, put in a position to where as though you're not going to be able to get the class if you come at a reasonable time and you express interest. So it's so many opportunities for you to get these documents, even though it may seem very heavy and it may seem like it's a lot. It is not a whole lot to do because it's taken throughout the process, and it takes time through the application as you begin to try to figure out what it is that you want to do. And so we've had students who went through all of those steps, and then when they got to it and they realized, you know what, I just don't want to do it anymore. This is just not what I want to do, because they begin to investigate the program more. They begin to look at the program more, and they realize, you know what, I'm more interested in doing another kind of pathway. I'm interested in doing something different. Because we have the different pathway opportunities for you all, it's so important for you to know that we want you to take the time to really understand and really dive into what it is going to be for the next year or two in these certifications before you commit everything into them. Because once you start them, you really want to complete them, and we do everything we can to help you complete those pathways. Next slide, please. So as I was talking, this segues right into what I was talking about, is how do we help you? So if you come into the workforce program, and we just talked about all these amazing pathways, and all of these amazing pathways, and in the beginning of the slide, it talks about the CASAS exam. So our CASAS exam is the exam where we are able to identify where you stand academically in order for you to be successful in our programs. It doesn't mean that because you didn't do well on the CASAS exam, that you're not going to be successful in our programs. It's just a benchmark that we have to use in order for us to place you appropriately. So one of the things that students come in, and when they don't get the required score, listen to the key word, the required score, they come in and they say, I failed. It's impossible to fail the CASAS exam. It's not a test that tests you whether you pass or fail. It's a test that gauges your skill set at a particular place in your development in order for you to be successful in any pathway that we provide. So don't come in if you don't get the required score, let's say for IT, or you don't get the required score for CNA, and think that it's over for you, because it's not. Because one of the layers that we do provide is that assistance and that help. And that's within this pathway, which is called the fundamentals pathway. The fundamentals is our fundamentals of English and our fundamentals of math, because within the CASAS exam, we test your assessment on math skills and reading and language arts skills. And so if you don't meet the required score for that particular pathway, you're put into a class that's going to give you the skills necessary in order for you to come up to that level. The next time you take that exam, pass the exam, and do the required skills that's needed for that pathway. So one of the things we want to hone in on is when you go to different places and you take the CASAS exam, or if you heard about the CASAS exam, it's not an exam that tests failing or passing. It is an exam that allows us to understand where you are academically for the pathway that you're choosing. And so there's no one that's going to be turned away because their scores are not where they need to be, because we have the skills and we have the opportunities within our organization, within workforce development, that's going to get you to where you need to be in order for you to be successful. So with that being said, we also offer classes that may not require higher CASA test scores. And we have, like, for instance, IT for seniors. So, we have our information technology pathway. An IT for senior pathway is someone who doesn't even understand how to cut the computer on. Someone who doesn't, truly understand how to even work their smartphone. This person really needs to understand how to, write an email. So it's the basics. And we put it for our seniors because this is a program that really helps them to become more technology savvy in the modern world. Because a lot of them, they're very interested in what it is that technology is going, but a lot of people don't have the patience. And they don't have the patience, rather, sometimes. And so we provide them with an opportunity, a safe space for them to come in and gain the skills that's necessary for them if they need to email their doctor, if they need to write the pharmacist, if they need to send it, go online because they now have to fill out a prescription. So we want to provide them with so many opportunities that can put them in the best position possible. So if you know any seniors that's out there that may need something to do, that's looking for, how do I build my skills because my granddaughter, my grandson, they sending me these things, I don't understand this stuff. Let them know, you know what? Workforce development has a program for you that can put you to be able to be competitive with us. We also have Spanish in the workplace. That's very popular because, as you know, of the surrounding counties of the District of Columbia and Maryland has a large Hispanic population. And so when they come into your jobs or when they come into your businesses, because we do have people who own businesses that come for certifications, this is important for you to gain the skills to basically to understand the fundamentals of Spanish in the workplace. And so this class is real exciting because a lot of students come in and they think that the class is going to be them writing Spanish. No, our instructor, she is legit. She does not play. She comes in, she hits Spanish from day one. You're coming in, you're speaking Spanish, you're talking about Spanish. She's not communicating with you if you're not speaking Spanish to her. So she really pulls at the people. She gets them rowdied up. She makes them invested into what it is that they're going to be learning. So this is a really, really vital opportunity for those students to really kick into gear and be where they need to be. Next slide. Our workforce development schedule. Our semester begins in January. We have a semester that begins in May, and we have a semester that begins in September. So we consider them to be the fall, spring, and summer semesters. Our classes are offered in the mornings, then in the afternoons, and in the evenings. So we have an opportunity for everyone to come and take a class. We don't offer our classes just one time a day. We know that we have people who are working from 9 to 5 who needs to come in the afternoons. We know that there's people who have childcare issues in the morning, so they can't come in the morning, or people who have their kids are in school and they have to come in the morning because at 5 o'clock they got to be home with their children. So we take everything into consideration. We begin to understand what is going to be an effective workforce program for the district residents of Columbia, and so that's very important to us. And also the courses, they vary. So because we talked about so many different pathways, you have to understand that the pathways are not created equal, right? So that means that we have some pathways that's going to be 150 hours. We have some that's going to be 65 hours. And those hours are determined by that accrediting certification body. So it's not by us. Don't think that when you come and you say, well, my cousin, he's in this pathway and she's in that pathway and they out before I am. Why y'all want us to sit in here longer? We don't. I promise you we don't. We want to make sure that you get the skills necessary in order for you to be successful. So there will be varying times. So you may have a pathway that only meet 2 days a week, Tuesday and Thursday. And then you have some that meets 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And now we're moving to Saturday classes potentially. And so it's very important for you to understand that those pathways and everything that we do is designed for you to get the certification. So the hours will vary according to the pathway because those are the certifications that you're going to be working towards obtaining. Next slide. All right, so we have proof of identification. The proof of identification is just like I said, is the driver's license, is the verification card, the Department of Corrections if you have them, and your passport. Next slide. Okay, and so this is just some of the things that's on our website. I'm not going to go over this. This is just basically what you need in order for you to be a DC, to show that you are a DC resident. When you go to our website, you'll be able to see this information. It's very important for you to know that all of our programs are only offered to district residents. You can't be in Virginia, you can't be in Maryland, you can't be in other parts of the country. If you decide that you're coming from another state and you want to come to the district to live, you have to make sure that you get your certification. I mean, you have to get your residency before you can start matriculating through our program. Next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, and I talked about the CASAS exam and the North Star exam. These are our assessment exams that we use. So it's very important for you to know that with the assessment exams, that's how we gauge where you are going to be placed when you do come to our program. You'll meet with our specialists. They'll walk you through the whole academic program. They'll tell you what it is that's required, and we'll look to see if you met the required CASA score. Again, it's no pass or fail. It's a required score that shows your assessment of where you are in order to be in that pathway to show that you will be successful. The next slide, please. Okay, so the student expectations. This basically, is, we offer rigorous courses. We're not going to say that workforce is the most easiest program for you to do, because these are industry certifications. So we are abiding by what the industry is requiring for you to be certified in that industry. We do require homework, and we also have an attendance policy. So you have to show up. You can't just come to our program and not show up, because if you do, then there will be consequences for that. In order for you to get the certification voucher, because again, workforce pays for the voucher that you're going to be sitting for. So we do have a required benchmark in order for you to be able to sit for that class. You have to be able to pass the class with at least an 80 or higher. You can't miss more than 3 classes, and you have to basically successfully pass the course. So you have to get past an 80 on the final exam. You have to pass with a B or higher on the course. So basically, those are the requirements needed for you in order to be successful to sit for the certification that we pay for once you complete the course. And conduct is very important. The way you present yourself. Drugs and alcohol is not allowed on the premises. I'm pretty sure you already know that. So this is just some of the things that we do in order for you with our student code of conduct. And UDC Workforce Development follows the same student code of conduct as the University of District of Columbia Community College and 4-year institution on the main campus, flagship. Okay, so I'm going to run through this real fast. This is the student success and retention. So this is how we make sure that you truly have the wraparound services that you need in order for you to be successful. And so our career services program supports you in an array of different ways. So we provide, upon inception into the program, we do a career assessment of you. We listen to you, we understand where you are and where you want to go. We do provide job coaching to an extent, where though we work with you, we do employment outreach sessions, we do resume and cover letter critiques. So we go through when you provide your resume to us, we will sit through with it. We have career counselors who work with you, go through those resumes with you, and walk you through the steps that's going to be needed for you when you get into a job. We have the employment outreach coordinators, and the employment outreach coordinators are the ones that set up the opportunities for you to gain employment. And they're the ones that walk you not only through the resume, but do mock interviews. They also do employment outreach sessions, and they listen to you and they work with you as you go through that transition of a WDLL student to a District of Columbia employee. Retention support, we support you as you do your program. We provide 21st century skills and workshops. We do assistance with community resources, as I spoke. We also do referrals to different organizations around the district. So we really provide that support. For instance, if we have a student who comes to us and says that they're homeless, we will provide you with support around district that can help you with your situation, but also we want to be able to still provide you with the opportunity to be successful in the class. So try to figure out how we can blend the services so that you can still be successful, because we don't want anyone dropping out of our program. And the transition support, one of our goals is to make sure that when you come to our university as a workforce development student, you are looking forward to your next development, your next stage. And so we work with you through our transition services. Everyone this is available to for you to be able to know if you want to, your next steps is the associate's degree or the bachelor's degree. But one of the things that we do is we provide that service that supports you through that. We help you with financial aid assistance. We do degree audits to help you out before you meet with the admissions office at the main campus. We do transition to degrees with the admissions office, and we also help you with the college application process if needed. Okay, next slide. Okay. So I think that that's pretty much it for us. We are again very thankful that you were able to join us today. We look forward to any questions that you may have, and I think that there's one more slide before we do the question and answers. And can we get that out there? We have another raffle coming on.
Right. So thank you so much, Dr. Durant and Mr. Martin.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That is some amazing. I took notes. I'm so excited. You did.
Thank you.
I am overwhelmed by the information. So we
Thank
do
you.
a short video from one of our sponsors, and you guys get ready for the raffle and get your questions ready. I want you guys to ask some questions. Okay.
Get some questions ready for us. Yes, we look forward to it.
Hello, Marion Barry Summer Youth Employment Program participants. It's Logan here from the iconic Ben's Chili Bowl and Ben's Next Door. On behalf of our entire family, we salute you for participating in today's virtual college and career fair hosted by the University of the District of Columbia. As native Washingtonians, our family has been serving the district proudly for over 60 years. Being a Black-owned business has not always been easy. The challenges that the generations before us faced is more than admirable. It's something that taught us you don't leave your future or success up to raw fate. You pull your team, and in our case, your family together. You show up with a positive attitude, you plan accordingly, and you execute faithfully. These are skills that you'll learn and improve on during your time at UDC. To date, 2020 has been truly challenging for so many DC residents, and I want to share our words of encouragement and hope from our family to yours. To those who have lost loved ones and or neighbors from COVID-19, and to those who have demonstrated and reiterated that Black Lives Matter, our family sees you, and please know we are with you. We will progress as a country with these grassroots movements to educate ourselves and each other, to protect one another and all of our loved ones, and to ensure our futures are full of endless opportunities and resources for all of us to thrive successfully. We wish all of you the very best in the second half of 2020. And remember, the Ben's Chili Bowl family salutes you in all your efforts, including getting your degrees and continuing your education at the University of the District of Columbia. Please do check us out online at benschilibowl.com and bensnextdoor.com. And remember, the University of the District of Columbia is your pathway to possible.
Okay, thank you, Ben's Chili Bowl. I like that. Your pathway to possible. I like that. So we have our first raffle from our sponsors, Ben's Chili Bowl. And remember, only SYEP and MBLY participants are eligible for the raffle. So we thank you for being here. So glad you're with us. But only SYEP and MBLYE participants are eligible. So here we go. Raffle number 2. What was the name given to the very first institution from which UDC was formed? Okay, what was the name given to the very first institution from which UDC was formed? And email your responses to virtualcollege@udc.edu. There's a $25 gift card to Ben's Chili Bowl or a baseball cap from the National Cherry Blossom Festival. I'm going to throw in a $25 gift card to Amazon. So we're going to have 3 winners this time. So this is my little part to thank you all for coming today. So happy to see you are with us. And we're going to jump right into some questions. So thank you, Dr. Durant. He's already answered one. They do not offer dental assistance. Is there any plan in the future, or is there a reason why you don't have it? You want to expound on that at all if possible?
I think that that was just not one of the programs that we looked into for the healthcare pathway at this time. I do think that we're exploring a lot of different opportunities, especially when it comes to pathways. That's one of the things that we try to make sure is that we look at the need for the district. So we look at the index need for where the highest demand is for our students in order for us to begin a pathway. And so that could be one of the pathways that we do offer in the future. That's why I said at this time, because it's never off the table. Never. No program is off the table. It's just that at this time, that was one of the programs that we're not looking into to providing at the moment, because we looked into some of the others.
No, thank you. There's another question about opening and I guess campus, but that's not really up to you guys. You can answer that if you can. If not,
Yeah, we can. We had the pandemic. It disrupted a lot. The pandemic basically smacked us dead in the middle of our program for the spring semester. So in March, we were pretty much not even halfway through our spring semester, which means that the students in the spring semester was disrupted. And because we didn't have any online platform at the moment, because all of our classes were face to face, we pretty much had to suspend classes for the duration of the spring semester. And then when the summer semester came, we had an opportunity to build upon what it is that we semester, but work towards building that online platform for our students. And so one of the things that we have to make sure that we do is we have to make right with the students that we had in the spring semester. So one of the things that our fall semester is looking towards is bringing in our continuing students from the spring semester and the summer semester to complete their classes in the fall semester. And then we'll begin to open the doors to new students in the spring of 2020. But one of the things that we always encourage students to do is, even though we say that the spring 2020 is when we're opening the doors, I mean, we don't know what the fall. We still got 2 more months in the fall semester. So continue to look online, continue to, understand how the CASAS exam can work for you. And if you've already taken the CASAS exam, you're really one step further into being a student in workforce development. So one of the things that has affected us is the CASAS exam testing. Because they're not done remotely. And, we can't have students in testing centers. And this has not only affected us as CASAS, but this has affected SAT scores. This has affected med school requirements that was done in May. They have begun to start allowing those students to still do MCATs up until October. Many schools have stopped GREs, and California has allowed all high school graduates and seniors that didn't take the SATs to come to school without the SATs. And so the standardized testing has affected a lot of, how we're moving forward with operating with allowing students to come into our programs. But the beauty of this is that we are virtual. We're going 100% online as a workforce program in the fall semester. So we'll be moving towards that transition. So we're looking forward to how that's going to work and help our students be successful in the district.
Awesome. So I do have there was a question about, do you have a basketball or football team?
Yes, we do. UDC. We're one university. That's what I love it. I love that question. It's so important for us to be able to answer that question. If you don't look at my shirt, I'll say I love UDC, which means that I work for the University of the District of Columbia. So it's so important for you to understand that when you become a workforce student, you become a part of the UDC family, and we look forward to you transitioning. And that's the reason why workforce is so important and so successful and so beneficial to our students, because it's the first layer that you can go into. It's not the only first layer, but it can be the first layer for you. If you start in workforce, you're a part of the family. If you decide that workforce is not for you, but you want to go to the associate's degree, you're a part of the family. And if you decide that the 4-year is for you and you don't want to do the other 2, you're still a part of the family. So understand that once you become a part of the UDC family, the basketball team and all the athletics is a part of you as well. So don't think that just because you're workforce, you can't come support. We want you to come on main campus to support those basketball games. Yeah, you have a basketball team, of course.
I think he wants to play also, but thank you.
He wants to play as well? Oh my God. Okay. Listen, he can play, because once he goes through workforce, he's going to come he's going to go start at the bachelor's degree, and then he's going to apply for the basketball team. So you can play. Yeah, right? He can play.
All right. So we do have a question around residency. So she said she sent her stuff in February. Her file hasn't been updated. And then just to reiterate, campus is not open. Do you know when it might be open?
We can, now that is a question I can't answer. I can't answer that question. But one of the things I can tell you is that all of our services are done remotely. And so if you email the workforce.edu, UDC.edu, then you will be able to contact someone who can get back to you. And all your forms and everything, that we have them all documented and they're on file. So I would say just reach out to us. We're online, we're here for you, and we're serving the residents already.
All right, perfect. Do you have any psychology programs that can get internships?
You want to talk?
Okay, say that again.
The question was, do you have any psychology programs that can get you an internship or that get internships?
Well, with workforce, we don't have a psychology area study or pathway. So you would have to go to look at our associate's degree program or bachelor's level degree program to seek out that information. So if you go to the website, you'll be able to look at the different programs and course studies within our website, our UDC website.
All right, thank you, Tiffany and Kanita and Janelle. I'm sorry, other Facebook person, Kavon for questions. All right, so I have a question. So, what age group is this? So, if I'm 12, I'm a grandmother. Like, what age bracket is this program available for? And do I have to have a high school diploma or GED to do any of these programs?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You have to have a high school diploma and a GED in order to do the programs. And now, when you say age, the age is from 18 high school diploma until there's no age group. We welcome everyone into our programs. Like when I was talking to everyone, I was telling them that workforce programs are open to people who are in the field, people who are looking to leverage higher in their field, and people who are just looking for a new transition. So with that being said, we know that that's at different stages in life. And so we're open to anyone that has a high school diploma from the age of 18 to 90 or 100, 110. I think that's the oldest person right now. So the 110-year-old, she want to come or he want to come, they're more than welcome to come to our program. But you do have to have a high school diploma or GED in order to be a part of the workforce program. And the other key factor, you have to be a district resident. Have to be.
Yeah. All right. So what types of opportunities are available once I finish? I get my certification. How do you help me get a job? What does that look like? What is your traction for students who have already completed the program and they're working in the field?
Okay, I'm gonna start, but I'm gonna let Mr. Martin jump in after I start. One of the things I want to say is that workforce development, we do not promise jobs to students. One of the things that we provide is opportunities and skills in order for you to be successful within your job search. So one of the things that's important for us is that we not only provide career services, which is, again, that resume training, working on those workshops, understanding what it's going to take to be successful when you walk into a job, looking at, your Myers-Briggs, looking at what jobs fit your personality. Then we move over to, which is our employment outreach program, which is now they come in and they allow for students to be able to be, I guess, what is it called? Exposed to different industry jobs that's out there within their pathway. And they hold employment outreach sessions. They work with students on, again, getting those resumes ready. We do on the spot interview training and assistance. And so when we send them to the jobs, we send them ready and prepared to be successful to land the job. And one of the things is that just because you don't get the job the first time, the benefit is that we're still here. And so you can come back and you can utilize the services over and over again. Once you are a workforce program student, we will support you through the journey until you land employment. But because of the District of Columbia, we're not allowed to, basically say that we can guarantee a job to a student. But we definitely say that we're going to do everything in our power to put you in the best position possible to obtain that job and land it.
And I think one of the important things is that you're able to network with students. I actually sat in a class, a CDA class, and one of the students were working at a recruitment staffing firm for CDA. So she actually talked to these students about that, and 3 of those students within that course were able to go to that staffing firm, and they were placed in early childhood centers. So it's all about the networking, and it's all about meeting people and working with the program directors.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. All right. Awesome. So we don't guarantee, but we'll help you look for something. All right. Awesome. So with the instructors for the programs, the pathways, where are they coming from? Do they have industry experience? Like what kind of instructors would they expect to work with in doing these programs?
All of our instructors are industry certified professionals within the field with years of experience. There's no one who's working in a pathway that does not have the experience or the certification that's required in order for them to do the job. So one of the things that we do in workforce is that everyone in the field, even we have nurses who have RN degrees and BSNs and MSNs, and we have IT professionals with the certifications in information technology, or computer science. If you're going to teach the ASW class, you have to have the ASW certification. If you're going to teach the CompTIA's A+ certification class, you have to have the certification up to date and available for us to see it. So everyone that's teaching inside of our classroom, all faculty members, are certified in the areas in which they're teaching.
Awesome. Question around childcare. I might have missed that part because some of my students, your students might, have children, what kind of childcare options are available, if any at all?
Mr. Martin, you want to take that, or you want me to take
So currently, we don't have a daycare center on campus where you can put your child while you go to school. So we do not have that currently right now. But you never know what the future holds. But we do not have that right now.
Never know what the future holds.
And Dreamers. Our Dreamers eligibility program. They live in DC. They have a high school diploma. They're 18. Can Dreamers participate, and what options are available for them?
Dreamers can participate in our program. They are DC residents. They have their high school diploma. They're eligible just like everyone else in the District of Columbia to apply for a workforce program and gain that certification that we offer. Yes.
Awesome. Had a last minute question pop in. I'm looking to enroll. Is enrollment available in the fall? Like, when is new enrollment? You said the spring. When is that?
Yes. Spring 2020 is going to be our new enrollment. But one of the things I want all our students to do is to look at the website and to pay close attention, because we don't, like I said, we have 2 months, right? We have 2 months still rolling. And we are enrolling right now. Working with our spring semester students who was disrupted through the process because they weren't able to complete their courses. And we're working with the summer students. And so we still may have opportunities for students in the fall semester, but right now we're looking at the spring 2020 for our new registration.
So can students register now for the spring, or have to wait until later? Like, if
spring, we'll start looking into that in September. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we'll start moving towards that in September. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So what would be really cool if that whoever is interested from this actual chat, we have our WDL. Just send us an email, say I'm interested. I love what you were talking about. So we'll have your information and we'll be able to send you information.
And actually, if you're on this call or watching on Facebook, please reach out to the workforce development and let them know you're interested. What's the email address, guys? They can workforce at
UDC.edu.
So it's workforce@udc.edu. I'm gonna put it in the chat real quick. It's really important for everybody on the call. Thank you, Jay. You're awesome. It's really important. If you're listening, you can hear my voice. Email them, let them know you're interested. They'll keep you abreast of the changes, because again, things are changing all the time. So it's important that you connect with them so you have a direct link to get this information. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Awesome. So thank you. You guys are amazing. Again, the raffle, email them. We are excited that you were able to join us, and we know that it's important to expand your horizons. So thank you, GC. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Durant. Thank you, Mr. Martin. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Jay Morrow. Thank you, Jessica. Everyone who made this possible. We appreciate you, and you guys stay safe, stay home, and continue to work on building yourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, that's yes. All right.